Hello, hello. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. Okay, let me make sure everything is working here. So today I wanted to talk about something that is very important to me in my business, and that comes to be, it's aligned with ethics, right? And having integrity within your business, whether that's being aligned to your core values, to your beliefs, or, it's going to be different for everyone, but there's some things that obviously, when it comes to ethics, we should all be on the same page with. And as a virtual assistant, you can come into situations where you're going to be challenged, right? You don't believe in what the CEO you're working with is doing. And that can be really difficult, especially if you are in the beginning stages of your virtual assistant journey. So today I just want to kind of talk through this a bit. This was brought up by a couple of my clients who I am training within their VA business. And so I thought it was something that is definitely important, and I wanted to spend some time going over it. Now, as virtual assistants, we are business owners. We run our own business unless you're an employee. But most of you are entrepreneurs yourself, right? And so we want to make sure that we are aware of what our values are when it comes to our own business. And when we're signing our ideal client, we want to make sure that our values relate to their values. And there might be some differences in there. That's completely okay. But we need to make sure that we are on the same page, because when we come up to these challenges, we want to be able to be transparent in our communication. We want to be able to have the opportunity to vocalize our concerns or if something's going on, because sometimes our CEO isn't aware of all of the back end stuff, or they might not be aware that what they're doing is wrong. And conflict is hard for a lot of people, but the more that we practice how to have effective communication and how to be honest and transparent with our clients, the easier this does get. Because we want to have self-respect, right? We want to be confident and have integrity within our client and virtual assistant relationship. Okay. So this is something that we always want to be focusing on. And then when we do get that pushback, or we face the resistance, it's easier for us to handle it, right? Because our client has that strong relationship with us. They trust us. They value our opinion. Now, the situation, and I'll keep this pretty vague, just so that no one is called out, because everything I do with my clients is confidential, and I do have permission to share this piece of the story. Now, one of the virtual assistants that I am coaching right now, the CEO that she's working with is copying other people's content and putting it out there. Now, my client is in charge of scheduling this content, creating the graphics for the content. Obviously, she wasn't asked to write the content. She was literally asked to copy this verbatim. Now, for most of us, that is an ethics issue. It's different when you're being inspired, when you like someone else's content, you like the graphics they're posting, and that inspires you to, how you're going to create your own. But this is plagiarism, right? There are intellectual rights that you end up dealing with. And so in this situation, she wasn't really sure how to communicate with her client, that she was uncomfortable in this situation, and she really didn't want to be the one who was literally copying the content from another entrepreneur and scheduling it in within the system, right? Because even though she wasn't making that decision, that's how the business's marketing strategy was going to go, she was the one actually doing the physical work. So we worked through it. We talked about, why that value violated her values and why it violated her ethics, right? And then we came up with a plan of talking with her client, being very transparent in just how it made her feel and what her concerns were, not only for her own VA business, but what her concerns were for her, client's business, and what the consequences could be if they did stick with this strategy, because this strategy had been in place for a while. This was a new task that my client was taking on, and she wasn't aware of it in the beginning. And so by building that strong relationship in the beginning, she's able to be uncomfortable with her client and be honest and show that she really does care about her client's business and her client's success. Now, in the end, after they talk through this, my client was able to propose some solutions to the problem, some ideas of how they can create their own content, but still be inspired by other people's work, right? We all, like, especially if you have a coach, you are going to be inspired by what they're doing, but you need to make sure that the work you're doing is your own. Now, when you're put into this situation, it's difficult if it's a brand new client, and you have to be able to make the decision within your business that if what your client is doing violates your personal values, your business's values or ethics, and you have to be able to make that decision to say, if I can't, have integrity and run my business ethically, I can't have you as a client anymore. And this really goes into our mindset of that, or making sure we don't have a scarcity mindset, really, that's not an ideal client. A client who's not willing to have ethics within their business, who's not willing to stick to their values within their business, is not an ideal client for you. And you need to know that you're worth so much more, that you don't want to jeopardize your reputation, your values, your business because of decisions they're making. And so we really just need to take the time to write out what our values are, what are our ethics, so that we make sure that everything we're doing is aligned with those, because we don't want to be put into situations like this. And there are cases when the people we work with have no idea, like in this situation. So my client's client probably did understand that this was not a good route to take with her marketing strategy, but she didn't have an idea of what to do instead. And so by my client being able to have that difficult conversation with her, share the concerns that she was having, but also have a solution that, like a plan in place of what they were going to do going forward to kind of make sure that they were both acting with integrity and doing ethical work, right? Because we want to always assert ourselves with respect and with, we want to be professional within our businesses. So I challenge you guys that if you have a concern about something that your client is doing, or even within your own business, if you have concerns, make sure you stand up for yourself. Make sure that your business and your actions are aligned with the values that you put out there, because the way we act, and even if that means our business isn't making as much money as we would like it to be, it's important, because this is the way we present ourselves. This is how we become credible, is by sticking to ethically running our business, sticking to our core values, and making sure that we really feel confident in how we're running our business. So I would love to hear some situations you guys have been in and what was challenging about them, or why did that make you question whether it was aligned with the values that you have in place, or if it made you question whether it was ethical or not. What challenges did you face in that process, and were you able to have those difficult conversations? Did you have a strong enough relationship with your client where you could bring out those concerns? Because there's a lot going on in the online industry, and it's not just copying content, or, there's a lot of people out there who are just screenshotting other people's content, removing their brand and putting it back out as their own. There's people who are promising lots of things, and then people buy this and it's not the experience that's promised, right? So there's all sorts of things out there that are happening that aren't ethical. And if you want to scale your business, be known as a sought after go-to virtual assistant or any sort of done for you service provider, you need to make sure that you are not part of this trend, that you're gently, respectfully calling people out, because we do really care about our clients. And that is not the way to success for anyone, regardless of what type of business you're in. Being unethical is not going to be how you scale, because at some point that's going to become a really big issue. And it might take some time for people to realize what's going on, but they are going to realize it. And if your name is involved in that, it's a hot mess. So I would love to hear some situations that you guys have been in. What was challenging about those and how you handled them? Or maybe you're in a current situation and you don't know how to handle it. I encourage you to reach out to me. We can do some brainstorming together. I can, help you practice how you want to approach it, or you could send me an email draft of what you want to send over, and I'm happy to give you feedback on that. But I do encourage you to take this part of your business seriously, because really it's crucial for your success. It's crucial for you running a legit business. And I know that everyone in my audience really wants to be ethical, and you guys want to be aligned with your core values and with your beliefs. And we can dive into your personal values later and how that impacts your business, because that's a big thing too, because we want to feel good about what we're doing and how we're spending our time. So if you have any other questions, feel free to let me know. I'm always here to help, and have a great day. Thanks.